Ladies and gentlemen, I think we may have a new Titan in the Monsterverse. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you must not have seen the new trailer from Monarch, the new season that's coming out. It was crazy. We actually got a look at what could be a new Titan. Now, in today's video, we're going to look deeper into it. A shout out to Goji Center. He's made a video titled The New Monsterverse Titan X. And like I said, we're going to jump in here and learn maybe a little more about him. Now, we'll say, let me go ahead and read. It says, portions of this video explore the speculative, that means it's, not for sure, biology and a hypothetical Titan reconstructions based on limited trailer footage. So, we haven't seen too much. So, it's not super official. The following Titan interpretations are not officially confirmed. We're basically guessing out here. Shout out to Goji Center anyways. I'm geeked. I don't know if y'all saw it, but there it is. Right there. I mean, we're going to break it down, but like I said, just in case you didn't see it, brother, excuse me, look at the tentacles. Oh, my goodness. I mean, there are a few kaiju that do have tentacles like this. Some people were saying, Nikika and stuff like that, but I'm not thinking it's Nikika. I don't think that. There are, a couple other ones, but let's see if Goji gets into it. I'm geeked, though. All right,
folks, it seems like the Monsterverse is once again
Let's go.
Out of hibernation.
Who do you think it is? Let me know in the comments.
Not only the official trailer of the second season of Monarch Legacy of Monsters,
that's going to be so good.
New Titan. And from the looks of it, it's definitely nothing to sneer at either.
Nah.
And quite literally making the Ion Dragon from Season 1 look like a
chump.
Nuisance. So today on Goji Center, we'll go ahead and attempt to recreate this Titan by carefully observing it and using clues from the trailer.
Ooh, that two eyes, bro, the two pupil things. So that's the first thing that I saw. I saw this posted on social media and I was like, wait a minute. And then I learned that there was a Monarch trailer. I watched it and I was ultra surprised. If you've seen the full trailer, let me know in the comments.
The trailer and see if we can pull off a more or less accurate reconstruction and breakdown of this new kaiju.
That thing looks crazy.
Hang out with us and hit that subscribe button.
It's not official. You got to remember.
Monsterverse is back better than ever. We
Back
return
better
where
than
we
ever.
left off from the previous season. The crew popping out of Axis Mundi through Skull Island in a specialized Monarch capsule.
Yep.
We were introduced to the king of Skull Island at the very end. However, this new season sheds light into an obscure piece of the Monsterverse timeline and the monster that fills this slot.
I need to watch that season again.
X.
It's been too long.
Seemingly half cephalopod and half lizard, this is yet another tentacle.
See, that's
menace
Nikika
in the
there.
roster of
I don't think it's
Monsterverse
that
kaiju.
one.
The trailer gives us a vague explanation as to where this Titan hails from. We'll be covering this animal's appearance very soon, so just stay put. Not quite 100% clear on whether or not this animal comes from Axis Mundi or Hollow Earth makes no difference. But
yeah, it doesn't really matter. Still a Titan.
Located in Axis Mundi in this shot,
look at that, bro.
Titan X appear from below makes us think this creature just might come from even deeper. The way
Titan X, Monster X.
Started in the Monsterverse is really becoming a big mess and harder to understand with each new Monsterverse installment. We started getting introduced to this concept back in 2017 during the release of Kong Skull Island, where the expedition crew verified that the Earth below was indeed hollow. This was once again touched upon in King of the Monsters, with Dr. Stanton making reference to the hollow Earth and vile vortexes, underground pathways Titans use to get from point A to point B very quickly. We got to see one of these in Godzilla vs. Kong when we finally ventured into Hollow Earth. Here's where this Titan might come from, but there could be a problem.
I mean, Titan X could come from there.
From here all the way to the surface.
That's what I was going to say.
Here's where it begins to get a little confusing.
I don't think it's coming from the Hollow Earth.
Legacy of Monsters introduced us to
But then where was it here?
Likely between the surface and Hollow Earth. Down here, time works a bit differently. Spending days down here and resurfacing means you potentially missed months or even years in surface world time, as was the case.
Interstellar shout out.
But even more strange is the fact that this phenomenon does not happen down here in Hollow Earth. Characters can go in and out of this realm and not feel the warping effects of time.
True.
As was seen in GVK and GXK. This kaiju being aquatic would likely have to come from a subterranean ocean. This body of water.
So how long has this Titan been alive?
Through Axis Mundi and making this kaiju find its way to the surface. It's also not completely clear whether this kaiju can perform amphibious attacks on both sea and land. So, seeing this kaiju breach
It's
access
gotta be
Monday
able to,
on
bro.
land
They won't just
could
give him some
indicate this thing
tentacles.
can also crawl on the dry ground.
He's gotta be able to do
Upon
something.
Closer inspection,
I mean, look at
however, it is quite possible that this animal was buried under another landform in
See, okay, one thing I've got to mention here. I mean, you could see like the lightning and stuff in the clouds, right? I don't think that's lightning coming from obviously the sky. I think that's powers that this thing has, which
Monday, perhaps
could be pretty cool here.
mound of rock and awakened by an unforeseen
It's gonna have some sort of
probably
thing going on
by humans. The description of the trailer does give us some insight as to where this kaiju will make contact with the surface. It mentions a mysterious village and the new Titan emerging at sea. So yes, one way or another, Titan X will breach Axis Mundi and haul its titanic body to the surface of the sea, perhaps even carving a portal himself through solid rock. Could he? Well, we'll find out in a bit when we talk about its anatomy. If you're enjoying this video, please take a moment to like, subscribe,
hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, check out my boy Goji Center. Make some crazy videos, y'all know.
Here get reinvested right back to the channel and shown to you on this screen.
Love it.
All right, that's it. Titan X, as described in the video's description, is indeed enigmatic, and we are likely going to be seeing it little by little until we reach the
You saw that they made like the model earlier.
Size. In the trailer, we
Titan
saw
X.
the Titan swim above a whale. This clip likely added to
This is a good size comparison.
in the trailer, which was that this Titan was bigger than Kong, and Godzilla shows that this Titan dwarfs one of the biggest animals
That is a
alive
blue whale.
to date. Many might be inclined to think that this is a blue whale, and it very well might be. But this could also
Yeah, maybe
be
not.
any from a vast number of baleen whales that share this silhouette.
I would just
Fin
go with
whales,
blue
for
whale,
example,
though.
are other species of whale that can grow to very large sizes,
Just to get
overlapping
the
with
biggest
blue
whale.
as well. If we entertain the idea that this animal is anywhere around 75 to 90 feet in length,
There you go.
conservative numbers for a blue whale, and on the upper edge for fin whales, we could be looking at a creature that is at least 600 to 700 feet in length.
Oh my-
And that's assuming this
That is a
kaiju
big
is right
fella.
above the whale in very close proximity. It could be larger. And since the trailer itself mentions that this
Dang.
animal is bigger than Godzilla, the G-Man or Kong could be looking at a pretty challenging opponent.
This is gonna be
And
so
it
good, bro,
seems
the new
like this
season.
is
Okay,
just
they
the
did
tip
make
of
him
the
a model.
iceberg. Now we'll go over this creature's weapons. In a previous trailer, we actually got a glimpse of what its tentacles look like. Light purple and extending potentially a couple hundred feet each. These are covered in very sharp sides with serrated
Kinda
edges.
reminds me of
If used
Nikika,
in
but I don't think
conjunction
it
with
is.
its
I mean, look
muscular
at that.
tentacles, anything snared in these
Oh
arms would
my-
get brutally cut. And
That
if not
looks
armored,
crazy.
scarred with deep, nasty wounds. This is likely one of the primary weapons deployed
That's
by
insane.
Titan X. But this is just the bottom part of its body. In the trailer, we are given a very rudimentary look at the whole of this Titan. A cave art image etched into stone reveals
It's
more or
always
less
the cave
how this
art, bro.
animal's
That's how we
body
learned
is
about Shimo.
arranged. A large head with jaws filled with teeth. The latter part of its body being the 6 tentacles and a set of dorsal formations along its back.
And now that I mention that, didn't we learn about Shimo because it was in Call of Duty, like that art on the wall or something like that? How did that happen? I mean, it wasn't anywhere
What
else.
seems to be some sort of split nose
I feel like
horn
that's
on
the only-
tip of
the
snout.
first place, at
This
least,
could
that
be
we found
used
out.
for any number of things, as a weapon or even as a tool to aid in breaking through tough surfaces, like what we mentioned earlier to access the surface world. Moving to the top of the head, the trailer gives us a very interesting look
sick.
at what's going on with its sensory organs. This Titan seems to have 2 pupils, and believe it or not, this is actually something that can occur in several species. Polychoria is an extremely rare condition where the subject's eye can be characterized by
can happen
more
to
than
a
one
human?
pupillary opening. There's 2 kinds, true polychoria and false or pseudo-polychoria.
Ugh.
True polychoria is when you have more than one functional pupil, and they can either open or close independently or together.
That's kinda crazy.
This may cause issues when focusing on objects, since this might affect how it perceives light bouncing off of
I
objects.
guess it's not a
or its
strength, it's a
surroundings,
weakness.
and may even blur its vision. If this is what we think this is, then we're looking at a handicap. But usually
go.
when there's a weakness,
Get
there
on
is
that
also
side.
a strength that counters it. Whether it's better alternative senses or an adaptation that allows this animal to detect objects in their surroundings with outstanding precision. If this animal is going to be a match for
Bro, look at
Kong
the
or
size,
Godzilla,
man.
both kaiju with really good senses, then this Titan must have something hidden
The
under
thing
the
is
hood,
huge.
and we're 100% sure it does. As it's described,
I'm telling
in
you,
the
bro, it's gonna
video
have powers.
description, Titan X is a living cataclysm, and it will announce its arrival. Many kaiju in the Monsterverse have
so
attributes
that is its name,
extend
Titan
the
X.
bandwidth of their
I
destruction.
thought that was speculation.
Tiamat, capable of manipulating
Oh,
water
never mind.
and creating floods. Rodan with volcano agrokinesis. And not to mention Ghidorah's Category 6 hurricanes. This one could possess something similar. Mentioned to have bioluminescence, this thing is said to have power unmatched. So when it finally makes itself present,
Hold up
everyone
now.
will know. Both Kong and the G-Man. Looking at this cave painting, we have to reiterate the fact that this very well could be a Titan that crawls on land, since we do see these people.
I think
be
it
on the
definitely will.
defensive.
There was
They
already a
wouldn't
part in
be
the
holding their
trailer
spears like this unless they think this fella might perform an
where he was, like,
amphibious assault.
breaking through
An
the ground,
even
right?
Bigger question would be if Godzilla and Kong would even see each other this season, and the answer might surprise you. Nowhere in the film Godzilla vs. Kong 2021 did it mention that Godzilla never encountered Kong prior to these events. The events of this show might take place a bit before the year 2019 when Godzilla King of the Monsters took place. In the last episode of Monarch Legacy of Monsters, we left off in 2017, so a lot could have happened between these two dates. Godzilla at this point
Only
had
2
already
years?
gone through his
They were
evolution
going
to
through
become
it.
a bit taller, but perhaps not quite at his 391 feet height yet. A tiny bit bulkier, and his dorsals had already changed from the straight jagged ones to the more curved shape in King of the Monsters. Kong is already much
Beautiful
larger
look.
than when we saw him in 1973, measuring over 300 feet in
Yeah,
height.
Kong been
and
growing.
May or may not have reached his
He needed
current
that.
maximum at 337 feet height. As it stands, it is likely that yes, Titan X will currently potentially outclass the G-Man and Kong, at least in mass. And also, the King of the Island just might catch a glimpse of the King of the Monsters in this season. Pay close attention here.
The island is the one thing that's kept him isolated. If he leaves, Godzilla will come for him.
A few days later.
Did we change course?
No, we're nowhere near the areas you flagged.
Well, it looks like he's coming for us anyway.
Note that in
Didn't
Godzilla
matter.
vs. Kong, it was already known that Godzilla and Kong should not cross paths.
Right.
They actively avoided it, but no real explanation why, besides the mention of them both being alphas. This sentiment towards each other had to have been instigated somehow, and we are finally looking at the possibility of us finding out why in season
Might
2.
see a little Godzilla versus
But
Kong.
there's
Or they
even
team up and fight
more,
that thing again.
and
I don't know.
This is the part of the video where things get a little wild. But
hold up.
stick with us, because we have reason to believe that Titan X has some uncanny attributes in common with Godzilla. Note,
Oh?
we are not saying that these two are related, but the similarities and the way this trailer portrayed the Titan strike as an attempt to make these two resemble each other in some way or form. The way its eyes glow blue, as we've seen
Right.
Godzilla's eyes glow a couple of times already. The way it swims and slithers its body is slightly similar to the G-Man. The dorsal
that's a
formations
stretch.
on its
That
back
one was
as
a stretch,
well show
but
some
it
similarity,
could be.
topped off with the description that this creature emits some sort of bioluminescence. Now, we also aren't quite saying that this animal is a hybrid between Godzilla and another creature either.
Godzilla and
But the
Nikika?
fact that they both glow blue in some way or form suggests that perhaps they are
I would
powered by the
understand that
same
mix.
source of energy. It is no secret that Godzilla and other species can absorb DNA of other titans or feed from the same sources. Shimo, for instance, was a creature that also was going to look similar to Godzilla, and to some degree has lots in common.
That would have been
Almost
pretty
as if
sick,
some
actually.
Titan species evolution is inclined to converge into the build of Godzilla, or at least resembling some core
Douglas.
attributes. So perhaps this Titan's evolution may have followed the same steps, and setting the groundworks for yet another Godzilla-like Titan to be introduced later down the line. The upcoming film GXK Supernova can take
I'm
any
so
number
geeked
of
for that
routes
movie,
and
man.
adopt any explanation as to how a Godzilla from outer space came to be. But one plausible in-universe explanation could be that all Titan ecosystems bring forth a Titan with similar characteristics of Godzilla, either by
That's fair.
an interstellar form
That's a
of
fair
Titan
point.
convergent evolution, mutations from absorbing the DNA from other Godzilla-like kaiju, absorbing the same kind of energy, or both.
Either way
This
you look
new
at it, I'm
Titan
geeked for
just
both
might set
the show
tone to
and the
prepare
movie.
us for what is to come in Godzilla Kong Supernova.
Ooh,
Introducing
that
us to
movie,
the
though.
concept that Godzilla's form isn't just another monster, but perhaps the guiding compass and pinnacle of Titan.
All right, well, what do y'all
evolution.
think about the new monster, Titan X? Y'all think it's gonna be dangerous? Do you think it's gonna be easily taken out, like, you know, the Ion Dragon? What do you think is gonna happen? Let me know anything in the comments. Other than that, though, guys, thank you for watching with me. I will see you in tomorrow's video. I love ya. Goodbye.